It's Monday the 17th of April and today is lockdown day for our incubators. I've taken each of the incubators off their automatic rocking cradle and taken out the separators which kept the eggs in place. Because the cradle's not going to move it around anymore, they're just going to lie quietly on their side for the next 2 to 3 days, and then hopefully little ducklings will be hatching. And in this incubator we've got 13 eggs. 2 of them are bought in and the other 11 are from our own birds, and they are all fertile. I've candled them all a couple of times, so all of those in there are potential little life forms. And I've done the same for the chicken eggs. Here you can see these were the separators that kept the eggs standing upright, and then I used parts of inside of a toilet roll to use at each end of the rows to fill any spaces to stop the eggs knocking against each other while they're turning. But there we go. Oh, look at that. It's 23 little parcels of promise. Yay, exciting. In here we've got a mixture of some of our own eggs and some that we've bought in. So the ones that we've bought in are the very dark brown ones, and they're all Moran's eggs. And then there are a couple of white ones. You can see it's marked LH for Leghorn, and there are several from our Brahma and our Brahma crosses. And I've got no idea what kind of cockerel was running with these when we got the girls, but we thought we'd give it a go, because we certainly know what the mother's genes are, even if we don't know what dad's genes are. So that'll be interesting when they hatch. Today Mr. J and I are getting everything ready for chicken graduation day, which means that the young chicks in the nursery pen move out into a house in the field, the ones in the house in the field move to a larger area, and the ones that are in the larger area, well, they move into the main flock. So that's what we're getting ourselves ready for today, to make space for everyone and to clean out houses that are empty and get ready for the new arrivals on Wednesday and Thursday this week. Well, Mr. J and I have got all sorts of stuff done. We've managed to move some of the fences around the chicken spaces to reconfigure the areas that they've got, and we've cleaned and tidied, and I've just watered the annual vegetable garden, and as you can see, it's now pouring with rain. Well, thankfully it's stopped raining, and means I can crack on with doing a few more jobs out here. But I did want to tell you about a little chappie that we've got who's not very well. Here he is. He's one of our young light Sussex boys, and I've popped him in here because he has really hurt his leg. Now I am about to let him out so that he can go and grab a bit more food before bedtime, but I put him in here just to restrict his movement, to try and give his leg a chance to rest for a little while. So he's been here for about 3 hours. I know it's not much, but it's every little bit's going to help, I hope. He was destined to be a table bird, and so in a few weeks' time he would have ended up on the table. Now if he is still limping very badly in the morning, or if he can't stand up, which is almost the case now, not quite but almost, then he'll become a table bird a bit sooner, which is a shame because he's such a sweet little chap, but that's the way it is. And while I'm filming, I've just noticed on the floor a tiny weeny blue egg. Wow! So somebody has laid a tiny egg. Now it could be what some people call a wind egg, or it could be that one of our little pullets has started laying. Well, that's exciting. Now poor little chappie, look at him. Poor little chap, he's finding it really hard to put weight on his leg. However, just resting it for a few hours means that he's actually standing on both legs, which he wasn't earlier on. So I'm going to go and find him some food so he doesn't have to walk too far to get it. Now this afternoon, one of the things that Mr. J and I did was to change the fences going around the birds' space. So there's a fence here and another one there, and then there's a no man's land, and then there's some more fencing going along there. Can you see the sticks just temporarily holding it? So we've got a bit of a no man's land because the birds kept jumping into each other's enclosures. So I've just come out. One of the Jersey Giant girls flew into there while I was feeding the chickens there. She flew into this gap, and Big White had decided that the best thing to do would be to jump over this fence and was wandering around the food forest. That is not a problem in itself, except for that we leave gates open, so he could just be wandering down the lane. And also, if he's out here, he's not in there looking after his girls, which is actually his job. After all that rain this afternoon, the air smells really clean and clear and very fresh, and all the birds seem to be appreciating the bit of moisture around in the soil. None more so than the ducks behind me. They're busy out getting slugs and snails that have come out of their hiding spaces, and I'm very happy for them to do that, because obviously that's less for me to deal with in the garden. Now, on a more serious note, tail end of last week I talked about having gone to see my doctor and the hospital and having had various tests and things, and just want to let you know that most of the tests have come back clear. It doesn't look like there's anything to worry about, but they have been testing for some fair old nasty things, and if you want to know a bit more about it, I have actually written a blog about it, and I'll leave the link to my blog in the description below.